February 2nd, 2045. The man at the bar bought him a drink. Confused, Redline examined the man. He looked boring. A clean-cut suit, tired look on his face, coiffed hair, like the stock image of a Japanese salaryman. But a gut feeling told him otherwise. The man stood in a subtle combat stance. There were faded surgery scars on his wrist, the slight imprints of a well-concealed gun. The situation smelled like trouble. "Thanks, Chum, but if it's all the same, I prefer to drink alone tonight." The man smiled at him. It was an uncanny valley of a smile, like something you'd find programmed on a hologram. It looked natural to the man's face, but not to the man. "You want to hear me out. Believe me, tonight is the night your whole world changes for the better." The man reached into his jacket, and Redline moved to grab the knife on his belt, but he was stopped mid-motion by a strong grip. The man had grabbed his arm with one hand, while in the other, he held a tight roll of eddies. Once the man was sure Redline had seen the money, he released his grip. "This could be the first payment of many, so how about we grab that drink?" March 3rd, 2045. Redline silently moves through the unlit streets, bounding from cover to cover. He holds both the leather satchel bag and the gun slung over his shoulders close to his body, trying to avoid unnecessary noise. Near constant gunfire rattles off in the distance and echoes between the tenement buildings. The windows around him are boarded up or dark, as people hunker down into their homes. Above the buildings, he can see the reflected glow in the clouds from Night City proper. A glow he'd grown up seeing his entire life. And tonight it calls to him, like a beacon. The promise of a reward for what's to come. An explosive blast of a grenade goes off from somewhere closer than the gunfire from before. It pulls him back into the moment, and to the gang war going on around him. He takes cover behind an old bus stop. He hears yelling from the end of the street. With one hand he lifts his SMG and scans for motion in the darkness. With the other he touches the bag to reassure himself he still has it. Several silhouettes move into the intersection ahead, and Redline holds completely still. The group begins to move down the street towards him, and he can count 5 of them. His heart pounds in his chest as fight or flight kicks in, and his vision narrows. He uses his smart link to line up his gun with the closest person. Gunfire erupts in the street. Rounds fly past Redline as he sees muzzle flashes from a different gang back at the intersection. The group he was aiming at spins to face their attackers and shoot back. Taking advantage of the moment, Redline moves from behind the bus stop and into an alleyway. He unconsciously checks the bag again as he takes up a position behind a dumpster. The gunfight lasts less than 10 seconds before dying down. He hears yelling as both gangs run in opposite directions. Soon, the only sound is the echoing distant gunfire again. He starts to shake as the adrenaline wears off. He checks the time and realizes he doesn't have much left. He takes a few deep breaths to steady himself and starts to move again. The rest of his journey is thankfully quiet. He turns into an alleyway and gets into position just as his alarm goes off. He sends a message that he is ready and walks out of the alleyway. Across the street, 2 men in Farrell's gang colors stand in a dimly lit alleyway behind rubble fortifications. He recognizes these guys. Deacon and Griffin. Griff for short. "Hey, boys," Redline calls out. "Shit, Red. Where the fuck did you come from?" "Fuck if I know. Had to take it slow on my way here. Nearly got caught in a 5-on-1 fight at one point."
"That's rough."
"You're telling me. I was squeezing the grip so hard it left a print on my hand. How's it been here?"
"Quiet. We stay out of sight to avoid drawing attention."
"What he means to say is boring. Sucks just sitting here in the dark waiting for hours."
"Rather be bored than dead. You heard Red. It's the Wild West out there."
"Still suck." The ganger cuts off and they both crouch down as an engine roars to life nearby and is quickly followed by the squeal of tires. Down the street, headlights appear as a truck turns a corner and starts down towards the 3 of them. For the second time that night, Redline hears the sound of bullets flying past him before Griff grabs him and pulls him into the alley.
"Get inside, Red. Tell him to send more people.
Griff returns fire at the truck as Redline runs further in, up a set of stairs, and comes to a door. He bangs on it, yelling, "Hey, we're under attack out here." The door swings open, and another pharaoh he doesn't recognize stands at the door with a shotgun in his hand. He looks at Redline with confusion. "Who the hell are you? I haven't seen you here before." "We're under attack, and you're asking dumb questions? Do you not hear the gunshots?" The man's face gains a sour note, but he turns and yells for more people to get outside. As they run out, Redline moves to go inside, but the ganger with the shotgun stops him. "Where are you going?" "I've got to deliver this to Nikki." Redline lifts the satchel bag up for him to see. "What's in it?" The man goes to grab the bag before Redline moves it out of his reach. "What's with all the questions?" "Eddie told me to deliver it to Nikki directly. Look." He raises the bag again. "You recognize the bag? It's Eddie's, right? And he told me to deliver it to Nikki directly. And he said not to open it either." The sour note in the man's face grows more intense, but he steps aside. He's in the room at the top of the stairs. The look in his eyes, he watches Redline walk away, speaks to unfinished business. Making his way up the stairs, Redline opens the bag and flips a switch on the bomb inside. He doesn't look, but he knows the 3-minute timer begins counting down. Upstairs, he knocks on Nikki's door and is told to come in as he pulls something else out of the satchel. Nicky Farrow stands behind his desk, a large man wearing spray-painted body armor instead of his usual, well-tailored, black sports suit and gold shirt. He opens his mouth to speak when Redline lifts the silenced pistol and fires 2 rounds into Nicky's head. Working quickly, Redline places the satchel on the desk and pulls out the last item, a grapple line. He moves to the window and begins kicking the bulletproof glass out. After a few kicks, it starts to loosen in the frame. The window breaks loose and slowly starts budging back, kick by kick. The timer on the bomb counts down, and Redline begins to panic, throwing more of his body weight behind the kicks. He nearly tosses himself out of the window as he knocks it loose and sends it tumbling down to the concrete below, where it lands with a dull thud. The sounds of the firefight he left behind come through the open window. He quickly attaches the grapple to the frame and crawls through, holding tight to the line. He begins to lower himself down the side of the building and is about halfway down when the bomb goes off. The section of the wall the grapple is attached to gets blown away. The grapple is still attached. He is vaguely aware of a wrenching sensation in his arm through the panic of flying through the air before he lands on the concrete. His head slams into the pavement, and the world explodes into pain and light. He is conscious of someone lifting him and putting him down, followed by a tight pinching sensation in his arm. He feels the gentle rumble of a moving vehicle before he finally passes out. Thank you to Sirenscape for supplying the background sounds. Our intro and outro were created by Ivy Faye. Check out her other work in the description below.